is Talkin' Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com. By Feather Snap, the smart bird feeder with a high-resolution camera and species identification software aimed to educate and spread joy to every level of avian enthusiast. Learn more at feathersnapcam.com.
And by Vortex Optics, with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show number 1002. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were hearing about American flamingos being blown back to their old Florida habitats by Hurricane Idalia, and that many of them then wandered north and west up to New England and out to Texas. Well, now another southern species is seeking the spotlight, the wood stork, which happened to be our mystery bird on last week's show, has been sighted in the past week or so in Maryland, Michigan, Massachusetts, Ohio, where a flock of 20 was reported, and north of the border in Quebec, Canada. Pretty unusual, although a similar wood stork event like this took place in 2021. Who knows what will be next? Meanwhile, our Mike O'Connor from the world-famous Birdwatchers General Store has been ogling another large bird, and he has sent us an audio postcard about that. And here it is. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Ray. You hear that? I'm behind the big bird store, and we got an osprey platform, and all the ospreys are gone, except for that one little baby. He's not little. He's not really a baby, but he's acting like it. All the other ones are off fishing and take care of themselves, but this guy is a homebody. He doesn't want to leave, so he thought if he just keeps calling, somebody will bring him some food. I offered him some birdseed, but he can't afford it. All right, that's it. That's it from Birdwatchers General Store, Cape Cod, USA, and the little baby osprey saying goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Mike. Mike O'Connor, well, the seed at Mike's store, too expensive for a young osprey, apparently, but Mike knows that ospreys are not big into seed eating, so we'll be awaiting the announcement of the new Birdwatchers General Store fish market.
Tuna!
Are you looking at some birds in your backyard or anywhere else? Well, we'd love to hear about it in the form of an audio postcard. To make one, just record a 30-second to a minute or so long description on your smartphone or other digital device of what you're seeing and or hearing, and send the file to Ray at talkinbirds.com. No G in talkin', that's Ray at talkinbirds.com. That is not an osprey, but it is a raptor. It's a stout-bodied raptor, and it's our mystery bird. This is a preview of the actual contest coming later in the show. This is kind of the warm-up, so you will be ready when we give the signal a little bit later on to call in. Tell us what that bird is or take your guess. No correct answer means a drawing will determine the winner, so we pretty much get a winner on every show. That's the goal, so get ready for the actual contest. A stout-bodied raptor, pale wings with a dark trailing edge, a black and white banded tail, a dark face, a reddish barred chest, and a white throat. This species breeds over most of the U.S. and Canada, and virtually all of its members head south in the fall to winter in northern South America, migrating in flocks of varying sizes from a handful to thousands. That's our mystery bird, and beautiful prizes await our winner. A big bag of our favorite coffee, shade-grown, bird-friendly, truly delicious Birds and Beans coffee, grown under the natural forest canopy in Central America to preserve wintering habitat for warblers and tanagers and thrushes and hummingbirds and more of the birds that we all love. Plus, a $25 gift certificate for Bird Collective, your one-stop shop for vintage-inspired apparel and unique accessories, all featuring birds. Prizes on our Mystery Bird contest, and here's the all-important number, to call when we give the signal a little bit later, 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900 is that number. Well, we reached a milestone of 1,000 Talkin' Birds shows back on August 25th, and we've been trying to reach a new milestone of a different kind, and that is to grow our Talkin' Birds Ambassadors family to 900 members. And helping us get incredibly close to that goal is Jim Hickey from Dedham, Massachusetts. Thank you so much, Jim. And where are we in our push to the 900 Ambassador family members number? This might sound made up, but it's really true. There are now 899 members in our Ambassadors family. We're ready to celebrate 900, so Talkin' Birds listeners, will you help us out by joining the family? It is truly easy to sign up, truly easy to be an ambassador as well. We'll send you a batch of our little Talkin' Birds cards, and you hand them out at your leisure to friends and family, neighbors and coworkers, fellow birders, and anybody you think might be interested in our show and about birds and conservation, which is what we're trying to spread the word about. You can sign up right now by visiting our website, talkinbirds.com, no G in talkin', talkinbirds.com, and by clicking on the Get Involved tab at the top of the page. And once you get there, you'll see the easy process to sign up. Still to come today, we'll be reminded that birding can be rewarding in and around urban areas when we welcome special guest Matt Igleski, who will tell us about the upcoming Urban Birding Festival in Chicago. Also today, Mike O'Connor will be back following up his audio postcard with a live Let's Ask Mike segment about how birding can be rewarding in community gardens. And in 30 seconds, we'll meet a featured feathered friend from way, way, way down south. But first, this important message.
Hi, it's Debbie Bleacher from the Talkin' Birds crew. We bring you the show every week because we care about birds and the environment, and we know you do too. So we also want you to know that 8 million environmentalists skipped the 2020 presidential election. Our votes matter, and registering to vote is the important first step. You can register and check your registration at vote.org. That's vote.org.
All birds have feathers, but many birds don't fly, including ostriches and emus, cassowaries and kiwis and penguins and quite a few others, including some ducks. 3 out of the 4 members in the steamer duck genus of southern South America can't fly. The 4 steamers include the Falkland steamer, the Chubut steamer, the Phrygian steamer, and our featured feathered friend, the only one of the 4 that flies. It's, wait for it, the flying steamer duck. Even this steamer doesn't fly a lot, and some heavier individuals are also incapable of flight. Steamer ducks are big, with the heaviest species, the Phrygian, weighing up to 15 pounds. Our bird weighs about half that. During most of the year, the flying steamer duck male has a brown head and neck with white stripes stretching from their eyes to the napes of their neck, a gray bill, brownish-gray body feathers, mostly white underbellies, and orange feet. Females have smaller bills than males that are orange with black tips. These steamers molt 3 times a year, with plumages varying depending on location. Flying steamer ducks, although they sometimes dabble in freshwater ponds, feed mostly by diving in oceanic kelp beds. Their diet is thought to consist mostly of mollusks and crustaceans. The flying steamer duck is categorized as a least concern species, but increased nest predation by American minks is said to be a potential future threat to their populations. And why the name steamer duck? Well, it's because when these birds swim fast, they flap their wings into the water as they also propel themselves with their feet, creating an effect sort of like a paddle steamer. Here's the sound of a flying steamer duck. Today's Talking Birds featured feathered friend, Tachieros petaconicus, the flying steamer duck. It's really something to see a photo of that duck in action. We're going to get a picture of that put up on our website and Facebook page very shortly. Welcome again to our show, number 1002. Matt Igleski is the executive director of the Chicago Bird Alliance and the driving force behind the first ever Urban Birding Festival in Chicago, which will be held in and around the city on September 13th through the 15th. And he joins us now to tell us a bit about it. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. It's great to have you on, Matt. Folks from around places other than Chicago might be surprised at what a birdie place it is there on the Lake Michigan shore. It says here that there have been more than 400 bird species recorded in the area. Tell us a little bit about the habitats, plural there, for birds, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, often people don't think of urban spaces as probably being a destination for birding. But for Chicago, we're really fortunate that a long time ago, they decided the whole lakefront was going to be park space. So we have the entire lakefront to explore, and birds migrate up and down that corridor. And every park pretty much, especially today, we had a big push last night, is going to probably be filled with birds. We also have two really great, city organizations and county organizations, the Forest Preserves of Cook County and the Chicago Park District, that manage tens of thousands of acres of habitat. And so we're going to be exploring all of those different parks and preserves during the birding festival.
That is just amazing. And so is Chicago's waterfront, because it's very special in the sense that it is so accessible to people, right? Pretty much open parkland.
Yeah, totally open. There's a lot of paths. So, before we got on, we were talking about how there's several paths that people are often running and biking, but you can use those paths to access lots and lots of different parks as well. And I know quite a few friends that will bike and bird at the same time.
So the festival will be headquartered at the Peggy Nodebart Nature Museum, close to the riverfront, or the lakefront, I mean. And that sounds like quite an extraordinary place. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so, they're a small nonprofit museum, but they're amazing in that they have a lot of really cool exhibits that highlight local wildlife. They have a lot of really fun interactive activities for kids. It's nestled within Lincoln Park, which is a really large park that also has Lincoln Park Zoo. Montrose, our really famous bird migrant trap, is also technically in Lincoln Park. And so just that park alone probably has recorded hundreds of birds. And so we wanted to be headquartered somewhere right in there. And this was a really great opportunity to partner with an organization that's, highlighting all those things already for us, and very close to the lakefront, which was also a very nice bonus.
Indeed. So the festival will include speakers, presentations, workshops, and lots of birding trips around the area. Can you give us a few highlights, Matt? Yeah.
So when I tried to count it up, it was something between 90 to 100 speakers and trips and events. Some of the highlights are going to, some of the most beautiful sewage treatment plants that we can offer on the south side, like we do when we're birders. Yeah. But we also have a boat trip going out into Lake Michigan, hoping to find some of the more rare ocean birds that migrate down through Lake Michigan, like Jaegers, Sabin's gulls, some of those kinds of birds we don't see really very easily at the lakefront or rarely ever. We're also going to be going to a cemetery that has several famous grave sites in addition to great birds, and a kayaking trip. Lots of really fun birding trips, and then lots of great speakers, So we're also once again fortunate to have fairly well-known speakers that live in and around Chicago. So we have Amar Ayash, who's putting out a new field guide to gulls this fall. He's going to be talking about gull identification. We also have Cornell Lab of Ornithology coming, so they're going to be highlighting a lot of their programs and also talking about equity in birding. We have some really great local PhD students that have been working with the Field Museum with the unfortunate large collection of birds that collide with buildings. And so there's about 4 decades worth of those birds at the Field Museum. But they're going to tell us all about all the really cool science that they've been able to do with that collection. So there's going to be a lot of really great talks and a lot of really great programs.
All right. Sewage lagoons, cemeteries, and more. Another little slogan.
Yeah, exactly.
You can use there. By the way, you mentioned about the buildings. I want to give a little shout out. We did last week, I think, as well to your organization because you were, I think, instrumental in getting the McCormick Center covered in film to protect bird crashes, and our friends from Feather Friendly involved with that too. Yeah, so we have kind of an interesting ecosystem of bird organizations in Chicago, and so there's actually several. So we have a kind of a collaborative group called the Chicago Bird Friendly Group, which includes the Chicago Bird Collision Monitors, us, the Chicago Bird Alliance, and Chicago Ornithological Society, and some other local partners. And we have been working on ordinances and things for years with the city. And so, unfortunately, it took a large catastrophic event to sort of really make that last push, but that seems like we've really, kudos to McCormick Place for finally putting all that film up and investing the money into making that place much safer for birds. Indeed. So the first Urban Birding Festival in Chicago. We have little time left, Matt, but tell us a bit about how this idea came about and who's helping to put it together. Yeah. So, this is an idea I think a lot of organizations have had for a while, a lot of the volunteer organizations in the city. Obviously, there's a lot of other festivals throughout the country, and we thought, we should have our own. And I got hired on just last fall as the first executive director for Chicago Bird Alliance. So I think that helped increase our capacity to be able to organize an event like this. And so basically it just kind of kicked off with a meeting between a lot of the local organizations to see who was interested. And so now we have Chicago Bird Alliance, Chicago Ornithological Society, Feminist Bird Club, Chicago BIPOC Birders, and then the local tour company, Red Hill Birding, that all have been helping us for the last several months organize this festival. I think everyone just wanted to do something really fun and interesting. And so we all got on board and decided to plan this festival. Matt Igleski is Executive Director of the Chicago Bird Alliance, presenting the first ever Urban Birding Festival in Chicago. And if you're anywhere near Chicago or can get there by the weekend of September 13th through the 15th, certainly be worth the visit and spending some time there. You can do a little search for that pretty easily, or you can look for this address, the Urban Birding Festival .org. That's the Urban Birding Festival.org. Don't forget that makes it a little special there. Matt, good luck with this great event. Thanks for being with us. Yeah, thank you. Matt Igleski here on Talkin' Birds, and up next here, it's our Mystery Bird Contest right after this. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. That rather thin call is from a stout-bodied raptor. It's our mystery bird, and this is our mystery bird contest. I'm going to give you the number right now, and in case you miss it, I'll give it again in a minute. 781-837-4900. A stout-bodied raptor with pale wings that have a dark trailing edge, a black and white banded tail, a dark face, a reddish barred chest, and a white throat. Well, this species breeds over most of the U.S. and Canada, and virtually all of its members head south in the fall to spend the winter in northern South America, migrating rather famously in flocks of varying sizes and kettles from a handful to thousands. What is it? Tell us definitively or take your guess, which could also make you a winner in our Mystery Bird Contest by calling 781-837-4900. That's 837-4900. Meanwhile, following up his excellent audio postcard, Mike O'Connor will be here with a Let's Ask Mike live report in just 1 minute.
Ready to take your backyard bird watching to the next level? FeatherSnap makes Wi-Fi-enabled smart bird feeders that blend the best of technology and nature. Get a high-def glimpse of your feathered friends with a top-of-the-line camera so every visitor can be seen with clarity and detail. A unique dual feeder bin helps attract more species, and built-in solar panels keep your camera's battery going strong. FeatherSnap's mobile app creates a truly immersive experience, allowing you to collect and organize your favorite pics and videos and earn badges along the way. FeatherSnap is a convenient and fun way to capture powerful images of your local birds and help get your friends and family excited about bird watching. Best of all, FeatherSnap offers expert-trained AI identification of more than 275 North American species, thanks to their in-house ornithologist. Check them out today at feathersnapcam.com. feathersnapcam.com.
It's Mike O'Connor live from the famous Birdwatchers General Store, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, with a little thing about community gardens. Good morning, Mike. Hello.
I want to give a shout out to Betsy from Spring, Texas. She and her husband were in a few weeks ago, and they listened to your show, and they stopped in to visit. And they were looking for you, but I said you were unloading a truck and you couldn't help, so but I took care of it.
Yeah, you usually keep me out in the back there. Keep me away from the customers. That's a pretty good idea. All right, that's so nice. Betsy and husband from Spring, Texas, at the Birdwatchers General Store. Nice. Well, Mike, we talked about urban birding with Matt Igleski out in Chicago, and you're going to talk about something that's sort of related to that, I guess, community birding gardens and why those are good places to find birds.
Yeah, no, they really are, and they kind of get ignored because for most of the year, and people don't really think about, when we go to woodlands or parks and stuff, but there's a little oasis that becomes really appealing to birds this time of year. The gardeners have been working their little plots for a long time, all summer long, and then like a lot of hobbies, they kind of lose interest in the fall, and a lot of plants go to seed, or a lot of natural plants that they call weeds take over, and they become really appealing to birds, especially migrating birds. So it's a good place to go, and just about everybody has them, with a short drive from their house. If you look online, there's just about every town has one or two, and you can go there. And it's a good place for migrants to drop in, warblers stop in on their way south, buntings, bobolinks, a lot of birds you don't often see in your backyard. But even backyard birds are there. A lot of plants, at least in our area, they like to grow sunflower seeds, and they're full of goldfinches right now, and migrating hummingbirds for sure. I've lost the hummingbirds at my feeder, it seems, but they're still out there in these gardens. And if you take pictures, if you're into photography, this is perfect, because instead of taking a picture of a hummingbird at a plastic feeder, you can take one on flowers, and they're beautiful. And it's a good time to go, and it's become so popular that a lot of birding groups even lead walks at these gardens. So just look online. You'll get a variety of birds you don't see, and it's not just a New England thing it's everywhere, because everybody's got a little plot, a little community garden, and it's a good place to go. You just have to give respect to the gardeners themselves. Don't trample on their tomato plants or anything. Just be respectful. But it's a great time to go, and this next couple of weeks is perfect. So get out there, bring your binoculars, bring your cameras, and there's always a leaky faucet somewhere in a community garden, so the birds are out there drinking and splashing in the mud. It's a great place to go.
We talked to Matt from Chicago when off the air about community gardens there, which is a pretty big thing in Chicago as well. So as you say, it's kind of everywhere.
Every city, right. They try to bring the people back into it, and then the birds have walked into it. Because, every place is asphalt or trimmed trees, landscape trees, which really aren't that appealing. But these are all natural spots still around, and it's free. So, and it's pretty. Even if you don't see a bird, you see flowers. So, and you see butterflies. If you're into butterflies, that's there too. So,
and all those weeds.
Yeah, look it up online in your community gardens, and you'll see there's a lot more than you thought.
Yeah, weeds and seeds. It's good for a lot. Not ospreys, probably not so much, but
right. They don't eat birdseed. Who knew that? I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, you learn something here all the time. People tell us that. All right. Thank you, Mike.
You got it.
Mike O'Connor there at the famous Birdwatchers General Store. That's on Cape Cod, which is in Massachusetts, as most folks probably know. It's a pretty famous place, Cape Cod. Back here to the Mystery Bird contest, and there's our mystery bird sounding off again, a stout-bodied raptor. Pale wings with a dark trailing edge, a black and white banded tail, a dark face, reddish barred chest, and a white throat. Famous for leaving town all over the northern part of the U.S. and heading to northern South America for the winter in very often big kettles, big flocks spinning around. That's our mystery bird. 781-837-4900 is the number. Mike is in Pembroke, Massachusetts. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning. Try to sound a little enthusiastic there, will you, Mike?
Well, I'm betting it's an osprey.
An osprey. Well, we just talked about an osprey, but that's not actually the mystery bird there. That was Mike's bird today. There, he's watching that. I
know.
Yeah, we don't make it that easy, Mike. You know what I mean?
No, it wasn't. I thought about it before Mike came on.
All right.
All right. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Well, you're very kind. Thank you, Mike. Let's go to Phil, who's somewhere in New Jersey. Good morning, Phil.
Yeah, good morning, Ray.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. I'm well, Phil. How are you? How are things?
I'm doing good. It's a nice, cool morning here in North Jersey. Great birding weather.
Well, you know, you're the garden state, so you must have a lot of those community gardens down there.
Yeah, and we got a couple in Westmo for sure.
All right. So the mystery bird is where we're at here. What do you think, Phil?
Broad-winged hawk.
Sounds pretty good to me. Broad-winged hawk. Absolutely right. This is so interesting. I think the only hawk species that leaves in its entirety, with just virtually, maybe even exactly every member, heading south, migrating. Other species, have a little mixture there. Some head south, or many do, or most, but some stick around, but not the broad-winged hawk. We have time for a bonus question, Phil, if you'd like to try it.
Absolutely, sure.
This is one of those, it's really not about birds, but it's about nature. 2 new robots created by the Cornell University, not the Lab of Ornithology, but the university researchers there, figured out a very unusual source of electricity to make 2 new robots operate. What is that source? Is it A, an insect swarm, B, bacteria, C, the classic gerbil on a treadmill, or D, a mushroom? Those are the choices. I don't know why we have a rim shot for that, because we'll see. But anyway, what do you think, Phil?
B, bacteria?
You say bacteria. No, it's actually a mushroom.
Oh.
That sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. By growing the mycelium, or the root-like threads of a king oyster mushroom, into the robot's hardware, the researchers engineered 2 types of robots that sense and respond to the environment by harnessing electrical signals made by the fungus and its sensitivity to light. Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Phil, stay on the line. Jesse will get your info. And meanwhile, we are out of time for today's show. Next week, we'll hear about an amazing book about birding and gardening with talented author and photographer Martha Ritalik. Meanwhile, special hello to all the folks at the Raptor Weekend down there in Bristol, Rhode Island. Thanks for being with us, and see you next week.
The Bird Show. I like that. I love it.
Ray Brown's Talkin' Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com. By Feathersnap, the smart bird feeder with a high-resolution camera and species identification software aimed to educate and spread joy to every level of avian enthusiast. Learn more at feathersnapcam.com.
And by Vortex Optics, with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.